Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli, and this is Vigorelli Institute. Behind me is my lovely black kitty, Mari. Say hello, sweetheart. Hi. Yeah, she's so pretty. Anyway, talking about some logic today. And I set the shot up this way so that you could get a look at the big black kitty here. She's so pretty. Yeah, she's helping. Alright. So I want to talk about Marvel Universe, not the cinematic universe. Disney can suck an egg. Anyway, I'm talking about the comic book universe, okay? Specifically, mutants, okay? And believe it or not, the issues that I have with this actually inspired me to write my own series. That series is the Dorian Astrapios series. It is available on my website, link in the description. This is a genetics thing. Okay? Now, according to the X-Men universe, okay, that is Marvel. By the way, in the comics, everything that happens in the Marvel umbrella is the same universe minus Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars is, yes, under the Marvel Comics umbrella, but it's a completely different universe, so doesn't count splitting. Okay, but the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, X-Men, X-Factor, X-Growth, whatever that. There's so many X everything in there because X is for extreme. Yeah, she's done now. Okay, let's scooch back over here. All right. So, in this universe, humanity is going through an evolutionary growth spurt, okay? And what spurs evolution, and this is scientifically accurate, is mutation, okay? Now, these mutations are rather intense. You have an individual born to seemingly normal parents, and suddenly they have, as soon as they hit puberty, or they pop out a little, that's not a normal looking child, okay, Nightcrawler for instance, with these weird, wild, and wonderful abilities, such as being able to shoot laser beams out of their eyes, which are now concussion beams because reasons. They can fly. They're bulletproof. Okay? They can manipulate metal with their thoughts. They can read your thoughts and input their own into yours. They can regenerate limbs, all kinds of other things. Okay? Which, okay, fine. Okay? Here's the thing. How did we get there? Okay? You see, mutations are a very, in all actuality, mutations are a very slow and laborious process. They start off in individuals and then filter into populations through breeding. Okay? See, I understand that, yes, you have super strength. Doesn't mean you're going to get to replicate. Okay? Yes, having super strength is definitely an evolutionary advantage for you, but somebody else has got to find that cute and be willing to procreate. Yeah. Well, what about by force? Get out. Right now. Get out. Okay? So, all mutations throughout all biological history have been the result of a random variance within genetic replication. Okay? That's why we have people today with blue eyes. Okay? It's actually a mutation in probably several genes that code for this. Melanin creation within the iris that causes the eye to turn brown. okay, or black for that matter. This is actually a mutation on the previous black variety, okay? That's why some birds are that big and others are that big. You can't see that. There we go, okay? It's why we even have mammals, okay? It's why not everything is just one species of goo sitting out there sloshing around in the ocean, okay? It's because somewhere during the replication process, something happened and something else was created, okay? And yes, I understand Christians don't like that. I don't care. Okay? All right. Now, with that in mind, okay, having somebody go from normal parents to super freak, not a thing, okay? Multiple mutations would have to have come up previously, reaching all the way back in time, probably several hundred generations, okay? Now, for that to happen, okay? So we're looking at, well, let's look at the Summers brothers, okay? We can examine two of them, Cyclops and Havoc, okay? Now, both of them have the ability of energy projection. Cyclops' abilities come out of his eyes, and laser beams, old style, okay? Havoc, on the other hand, comes out of his chest. And he just whirls it up and then boom! Okay? And it does stuff. Okay? Sorry, it's a bit dry here. Now, they technically have the exact same mutation, but it's in a completely different area. Now, in the universe, this is called the X gene. We're never told what the X gene actually looks like, but it's clearly identifiable. Meaning, for it to be a gene, it has an assortment of nucleotides in a predictable fashion, and it just randomly lodges itself somewhere in the chromosomes. And depending on what it codes for, and depending on where it is, will depend on what it codes for, which gives them certain abilities. Okay? Now, the way that actually works, okay, the way your DNA gets outside is through a rather complicated process of protein replication, okay? So your DNA is nucleotides, okay? Now, it's a double helix tightly packed, and a enzyme comes by. By the way, all enzymes are proteins, okay? It comes by and says that it is going to open it up, okay? It's called a transcriptase, okay? So the transcriptase comes in and pulls out the DNA and replicates it and creates a messenger RNA, okay? Now, it's an RNA, not a DNA, because it's a single strand. Am I confusing you? I hope not. Either way. Then, it travels outside the nucleus into a little thing called a ribosome. This ribosome then takes it and says, okay, cool. And it does another transcription into proteins, okay? So it comes across 3 nucleotides and it codes a single protein for it, okay? Now, where mutations come in is at some point when we were going from the DNA to the ribosome, there was a mistake, okay? One of the nucleotides shifted, okay? And so it comes out and it says, oh, it's supposed to be this it's supposed to be this set of nucleotides, but it's this one. Okay, well, that's what they want. So what we'll do is we'll just do what it says, okay? So what happens is a brand new amino acid, which is, by the way, what all proteins are made out of, gets put there instead. Once all of these amino acids are done, and by the way, it hits the predictable end of the strand, then whatever protein is going to be coded gets coded. Could be a sheet protein, could be a spiral protein, could be a spike protein, could be a glob protein, or it could be the part of another protein, okay? And it's just waiting for its buddy to get made so it can go off and do whatever it is it's going to do. Now, some proteins make other things. They smash a bunch of other organic molecules together to make certain things, poisons, fat, which, by the way, you actually do need. I hate to tell you. Okay, they come together to make a protein that makes another protein that makes then another protein, etc., etc., etc. Okay, all kinds of stuff comes on. Okay. There are some, by the way, any protein that makes something is called an enzyme. Any protein that breaks something is called an enzyme. Okay? So when you're like, I need to take my enzymes, all you're doing is you're supplementing something that your body should be making, but for whatever reason, you're either not making it or you're not making enough. My recommendation, teach your body how to make proper enzymes. Okay? Or stop eating the thing that you can't digest. All right. Now, as all of this happens, it's not just structural, but it's also hormonal. Okay? Hormones do play a huge role, and yes, your tissue does change based on your age. I just turned 40. I'm now middle-aged. Some of my hormones are not as good as they were even 4 years ago, or 2 years ago for that matter. And definitely not as good as they were 20 years ago. Too bad. Okay? It'll happen to you. Anyway. So mutations like what you see in the X-Men and associated stuff are what are called grotesque. Okay? And probably kind of impossible. Now, say, well, it's fine because they happen because of radiation. Well, it's fine because it happened because of toxic waste. Well, it's fine because magic. No. No. Damage from radiation will cause mutation, but that mutation is usually on a fairly small scale, and it's random. You're not going to get superpowers. What you're going to do is your DNA is going to fall apart and then bye. Okay? Same thing with toxic waste. Also, if you manage to actually survive it, you're not going to last very long because now you have a thing called cancer. Okay? In which case, your DNA is so wonky, it's just replicating stuff and there's no logic to it. And then bye. Okay? Hope you had fun. Anyway. What we see in those comics is not possible, ever. Okay? Unless you specifically doctor the DNA. Okay? So, one of the things that modern science is working on, and I really don't like it, is designer genetics. Okay? Oh, with this you can do all kinds of stuff. You can create any kind of monster you please, and if you can deliver it in the form of a reliable virus, yikes. Yeah, that's scary. Okay? All it is proteins. That's all it's going to code for. Those proteins will change how you develop. Okay? Yeah. For whatever nefarious end, I'd say. So, I would rally against that if I were you. Call me crazy. Okay. So, that's about all I've got for you on this. If you're new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Also, links in the description. Feel free to check out my websites. I've got merchandise like so available. And here is my flag. You can't see that very well, but that's okay. And I've got other stuff, water bottles, cups, books, puzzles even, stuff that I created myself. Okay? And by the way, should you meet me in real life and you happen to have this available in a pen, I'll sign it for you. Promise. Okay? All right. So, you take care, guys. Bye-bye.